right before the music drops, and that's always the worst place to end it because you know. Anyway, picks and bans, here we go. I believe that was my name as well. Right, do you remember how it was spelled? It was something like Askj Gaval.
I don't think I would, since
like
I wasn't here.
All right, look at that. The Irelia ban again. Please nerf Irelia, even after she got reworked and then nerfed and then buffed and then nerfed and then buffed, and she's still getting banned.
They really hammered her with that 5 MS nerf. I think that removed it from competitive viability, guys.
It's just completely. While they're running through bans, I did want to say very quickly: have you heard the actual stats when it came to the number of champions played, the variety of champions played in Worlds this year?
It was like, for World specifically, not professional play?
Just
No.
World specifically. 90, I believe it was 98 or 95% of all champions.
98 I think is professional play. I think
was
for
it professional?
Worlds. Yeah. If you're talking about the Reddit thread.
Yeah, that was the Reddit thread. Okay.
I think Worlds is a little lower than that, but still probably. I think it was still one of the highest diversity Worlds yet.
Oh yeah, for me. Everyone loves to complain about the balance team, and everyone loves to complain about certain champions that are crazy strong or crazy, terrible and all this sort of stuff. But the fact that even if it's just professional play, 98% of champions were played, to me says the balance team actually does know what they're doing overall. And I think that it's an amazing thing to see. Yeah, as you said, even at Worlds specifically, there was a huge amount of variety in champions.
Yeah.
Hecarim top lane in the NA final games, like, that stuff's awesome. Brittany, you did. This is the last game of the night, but if we've got a bunch of people that want to play in game, let me reset the queue. And actually, if we get enough people that want to get in, we'll do a game 4. I'm not opposed to doing a game 4. It's still fairly early into the evening.
Ooh,
and so
he's bringing back the Malphite support.
Queue reset. If we get
Hey, Broken Hearts, if you're listening, I advise going Ignite, and then maybe trying going Spell Thieves instead with like Arcane Comet and Mana Flow Band. You'll have a lot of laning pressure with that, as opposed to the coin.
We got a little bit of caster advice coming through. Lighthouse. Oh wait. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and mostly this is directed at Cold Art. You are going to have a treat this game, because a classic player who's played since the dawn of time, or the dawn of the stream, Lighthouse, who is very well known as Lord Reeves, is playing on his absolute classic of all champions, Anivia, who 9 times out of 10 gets banned away from him, and this time gets to be played, and I'm so excited to see it as Sejaces grabs Pantheon? We haven't seen a Pantheon in forever on this stream. I like it. Nerzilian grabbing the Tristana, and Esk grabbing the god tier Gragas. We have another player, Briar, who more regularly plays Gragas on the stream and decimates with it. So we'll see how he does. The big fat man, Santa himself, playing. I guess Santa's more Braum because he's got that cool Santa skin.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is that a Gragas jungle or support? Because I've seen it play both recently.
Briar more often plays Gragas mid lane, going
mid lane.
Massive burst potential,
Okay.
flashing in, Q, immediate burst, E smash. I mean, it can take someone from full health to nothing in an instant. It's glorious to watch. And we get to see Xeno taking the prestigious Kaisa skin. So if you haven't seen this skin in game, now's an opportunity to see it, which I'm excited to see because I haven't seen it in game yet.
Yeah.
As we do have those final bans, Morgana, Yasuo for the side of WaffleRockets, which by the way is Team 2.
WaffleRockets,
And
good to know.
PlzNoCampMe bans away the Kled and the Olaf, so really pinching that top lane pool. I think that it's going to be Commander C going up there, and he's going to grab the Scion. So taking that more safe tank and hard engage, we could really set up Malphite later on into the game.
Yeah, I think that Yasuo ban is a respect ban to Plastic 4 after his last game where he popped off.
Oh yes.
So good to see that.
People are learning and watching from previous games. Good to keep in mind. And now he's on the Zed instead.
No Camp Please has an interesting comp where they're almost full AD aside from Gragas. Now, granted, if this is the Gragas mid, as you said, which it doesn't seem likely with Pantheon Zed, it could be Pantheon jungle too, actually. But if this is the Gragas mid, I'm not exactly sure how much damage he does, but I'm not sure if it's enough to really crank their damage profile up to the point where Sion can't just build full armor and become absolutely disgusting.
Oh, Otter grabbing the Tom Kench. No. No, he's got to be support Tom Kench. Okay, it's got to be support Tom Kench. Zeno, who's playing Kai'Sa right now, has popped off insanely with Tom Kench in the top lane, which I've seen some YouTube videos about, where you go more of the attack speed on hit Tom Kench, and he gets crazy amount of damage, as well as can later on in the game feel unstoppable, because every time you try to escape, he just gobbles you up, spits you out, kills you, repeat, rinse with spit, I guess.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to say who the jungler is on WaffleRockets. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to say who the jungler is, really. I mean, I've seen Tom jungle, I've seen Sion jungle, I've seen Malphite jungle. So it's really, it's going to be interesting to see which one they decide to take into there. As it does look like Gragas jungle is most likely going to be the path for No Camp Please.
All right, well, as the last second ticks down, so we get to see any changes around, looks like there are very few to no changes. The Nivea grabbing teleport was, I think, one of the only things that we saw switch over. So let's roll through the players and their champions, and then we'll get into analyzing these comps. So for the side of team, PlzNoCampMe, we've got Esk taking the Gragas in the jungle, Nerzulian with the Tristana 80 carry, Sejaces with the Pantheon in the top lane, no free names with a Thresh bottom lane supportive role, and last but definitely not least, Plastic4 with the Zed in the mid lane.
Yeah, and then for Team WaffleRockets, we have probably Malphite jungle, piloted again by Broken Hearts. Anivia in the mid lane with Lighthouse's feared MVP pick for himself. Dino on Kai'Sa, looking like they're taking barrier instead of heal, an interesting choice. Commander C212 or C2121 on Sion, on the top lane Sion. And finishing out the roster is XLNC Otter on the Tom Kench, providing that peel for their backline.
Which, just to clear this up, because no one sees it,
That's
which
a
is
tag.
totally fine, and to understand, the whole stream as a whole is XLNC, which is the tag. We all, a lot of us that are regular players, you'll see, even Zeno has
I
it.
was thinking that as I said it, and I'm like, I'm already committed.
But here's the key on it. If you read it very quickly, it says Excellency.
Oh, okay.
It's
See,
like,
I'm stupid, so I wouldn't have
don't
gotten
feel
that.
bad.
I'm glad you explained.
Literally no one else ever says that, and when I go to any Twitch channel, because my Twitch name is Excellency Shoutcasting, the very first thing that I say is, hi, Excellency equals Excellency. And they go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Whoa, what?
So clever.
And
Yeah.
it's, I'll explain this because we still have another minute, is the reason why it's called that is because the stream and the community that we've built together is all about being as excellent as we can. We want to have excellency in our character, in our gameplay, in the way that we treat other players, as well as other people in the community. We want to just be excellent in everything that we do. So that gives you a little bit of history as to what excellency is. And for new people out there as well, welcome. This is what excellency is about. Okay, back to the game. We got 40 seconds. Overall, if you had to pick a team, without analyzing just yet, just pick a team. Which team do you think will win?
Just by the fact that you were hyping up the Lighthouse and Nivea, I give it to them, honestly.
Okay.
I didn't see anyone who was absolutely incredible on the side of No Camp Please. They were very good, but I didn't see someone who I thought could just take over a game. And from the way you described this Anivia, that sounds like something they can do.
Right, so the main thing for Anivia and Lighthouse playing her is that he's really good about directing the fights into the locations, or, with that wall, pinching off different people, and the composition, I think, does extremely well into that. When you've got Sion for engage, Malphite for the guaranteed CC, Kai'Sa that can jump in with the Void Seeker, as well as the ultimate. I had it on the tip of my tongue and just lost it.
Yeah, so sorry, I was briefly distracted
No,
there
you're
by
fine.
my lovely roommate.
What is the name of Kai'Sa's ultimate?
Kai'Sa's ultimate? Void Rush. Oh, I don't know. Well, it's the one where you dash really fast and you get a big fat
No,
shield.
we all know what it does, but I, as a caster, I do a very poor job of attempting to memorize all of the champions and their spells,
Yeah.
and
You,
I get most, but not all correct. And I had it on the tip of my tongue, and I lost it. Killer
it's
Instinct.
Killer Instinct. I
Xeno.
had to Google it.
No, you're fine. And Xeno got it in the chat as well. So when you have the Scion for Ultimate Engage, Malphite for Ultimate Engage, Kaisa for the Twin, or the Void Seeker, followed by Killer Instinct, there's a lot of awesome stuff that can go down for
Absolutely.
picking people off when Anivia plays the wall correctly. That said, on the opposite side, pick comp, Thresh, Pantheon, Gragas. Could you ask
And
for a
Zed
better
too.
pick comp? Like, seriously, these guys, if they can keep the fights to that more skirmish heavy potential, especially when they have vision and are fighting in the jungle, there's a lot more of an opportunity to bring more people to the party quickly, especially with that Pantheon ult, Gragas being able to body slam in, Zed hopping over walls. But they need to keep it that skirmish, because in a true 5v5, especially when Kench can just gobble people up and save them and run away from fights if Kai'Sa's ever in trouble, it's going to be a lot more difficult to win 5v5 fights.
Yeah, if this Kench plays the champion well, it's going to be very difficult for Team Camp No Camp Please to pull anything off here. As long as he's in the fight, it's going to be extremely hard for even with the Pantheon targeted stun or the Gragas stun. You know, the picks are unlikely to happen. I will also say, I think ironically, if the Tristana and the Kaisa were swapped, it would make both compositions a lot stronger. Since the Tristana plays into the win conditions of Waffle a lot better than it does for the win conditions of No Camp Please. I do think it's strange too. Also, the barrier choice. I'm not sure. I guess it makes sense when you consider that like 90% of the team of No Camp Please has Ignite, but it still seems like an interesting choice as opposed to Heal, which is almost taken 99% of the time on AD carries these days.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the damage coming out from PlzNoCampMe is going to be more of that burst damage. You're thinking a Gragas Q, a barrel explosion, a Tristana grenade finishing its final tick and blowing up, Zed ultimate, those types of things. And a barrier is going to do a little bit better at protecting long term when it comes to those bursts, because it can absorb that initial burst. And all Kaisa has to do is live long enough for Tahm Kench to gobble her. Then any other damage over time, like the Ignite, it doesn't have to be as concerning, because she's going to be safe inside the belly of that Tahm Kench.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Pantheon will be able to snowball his lane the way he was able to last game. It's really going to depend, again, on like how well, because unlike the last game, Riven's matchup into Victor is extremely good. I'm not too sure how Pantheon's is in the side. So what's going to be seen if S. Jaces can pull off the great game he did last time, or if it'll just simply stall out with the Pantheon losing the pressure he has so dominantly in the early game.
So,
it looks like both teams are doing invades.
Overall, I actually completely agree with you that I think WaffleRockets has this game in the bag, just with their composition as a whole and the players that I know on the stream. But because you already called them, I'm actually going to support PlzNoCampMe and see what they can do, as we do see that invade by Lighthouse. It is Reeves' special thing. He loves to do invades. No free names being forced to flash. Ignite taking away, and Broken Hearts gets first blood. The jungle Malphite steals away first blood. Are they going to stick around for the camp or not? That is the question. It looks like at the moment they're going to be chasing Tristana out on the bottom side. Thresh already back up. So not.
And that's really good. Yeah, that's really good for Jungle Malphite in particular too, because his early clear not the greatest. So any gold he can get that speeds him up to that first jungle item is huge.
I think the only thing that could have gone a little bit better for WaffleRockets is if it was the jungler that they had been able to kill, not the support, because Thresh not going to actually be hurt too badly by it. Scion able to actually luck out and walking past the enemy, both jungler and top laner. That said, the top laner Pantheon is going to actually have a pretty decent chunk of time before he's able to get up there. And the question now is, will Malphite recognize with that ward? You can actually see that Gragas is not taking his red buff. So will Malphite go to that red buff to try to take it away, or will he end up facing off against Gragas in his own jungle? Or basically walking in after everything's taken away? We'll see.
Yeah, Malphite's probably going to play. It's pretty risk averse. The last thing he wants to be doing is fighting anyone at this stage. He's just looking to power farm to 6, and hopefully, you know, get to that point where he can start taking over the game with his really impactful ultimate. As far as the top lane's going, it looks like Sion, thanks to the leash Pantheon gave, was able to get the early level 2. So Pantheon not able to exert that famous early pressure that everyone knows him so well for.
Yeah, he has hit level 2 now, so we'll have a couple of spears. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is that his mana is on the lower side, both from helping out Malphite and having to burn a bunch of those spells to try to get that wave cleared up before it hits the tower. So he's just going to have to kind of keep it safe. To be fair, though, Commander C having a struggle of a time farming. So Pantheon is actually already ahead by 3 farm. A thing to note, Commander C, one of the lower level players on the stream. But that said, he did pop off on Tuesday on Malzahar. So yeah, and now Gragas coming up. This might be Commander C going down. He does still have Flash up. As Plastic 4 going to lose a chunk of health in the mid lane. Commander C flashes, but it may be way too late. It's a Jace's flashes. Doesn't even need the stun. Ignite ticking away. Commander C extremely low, but the shield save him, and it does. Commander C gets out alive, burning the flash from Pantheon as well.
Yeah, it looks like Gragas didn't want to commit to the follow-up with the flash. With the red buff, he might have been able to take him down, but as it is, Sion gets a clean escape. And it looks like the pressure from No Camp Please goes unused. Malphite also, after discovering that Gragas had his hand in the cookie jar and taken his almost entire topside jungle, looks like he actually is opting for that red steal. But Gragas is on his way, and Malphite's clear slow enough that I think he's actually going to be able to meet him in time if he realizes that Malphite is in that bush with the red buff.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the red buff is taking almost no damage, but Gragas is going to walk past, and there's no sight on Malphite. Okay, Malphite does give up the fight, and
Ador, looks like it's going to be a smite fight.
Oh, this is the question.
Ooh, and Malphite gets it.
He gets the red buff. Now can he get over the wall? He doesn't have Flash. The rest of his team trying to come in to save him. No free names. Going to be a 2-man flay. Otter being ticked away, and the grenade will explode. Uses the gray health, but
Gragas is just smashing his Malphite.
Gragas continuing to smash Malphite, dropping him low, but a nice wall. No, it's still not enough. Plastic 4 gets the last shuriken to finish him off.
And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it looks like Tristana is smashing.
Xeno trying to make the trade of kills. Uses the barrier. We use one more auto attack to finish off Thresh, and will trade his own life over to get 1 back, but that is a 3-4-1 trade and a double kill to the Tristana. PlzNoCampMe off to a great start this game.
Yeah, it looks like after that bad early beat with the in-jungle invade, they were able to bring it back, get some kills for themselves, and really start swinging some of these lanes in their favor. Even with the unfortunate red steal going over to Malphite, it just wasn't enough as they were able to pick up the kill on him, with the Zed finally roaming over to pick it up.
It was a buff transfer. That's what he was looking for. The
exactly.
Gragas allowed the red buff over so the Zed could get the kill, and now Zed has the red buff. Classic buff transfer. And Anivia really wanting that blue won't have it either, as Malphite really wants to have that blue to help him get that wave clear, so it's still going to be probably another 5 to 10 minutes before Malphite starts giving those blues over to that Anivia, who started tier, so not much pressure in the mid lane, literally just looking to farm and stay alive, as Zed is about to tick level 6, that make it a lot harder.
Yeah, and Zed has a red buff too. You know, you can't ignore that. If he gets 6 fast enough, he might be able to just kill Anivia even with the egg, as long as she's unable to get in her turret.
That's the main thing, is positioning around having that egg. Go ahead.
No problem. At the moment, the game looks like it's stalling out. Malphite's just power farming up. Pantheon is being continually pushed into his turret. It looks like Gragas is going for a Predator gank on the bot side.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got the speed boost. Nice consumed by the Tom Kench, but maybe sacrificing his own life over keeping Xeno alive. He's trying to get the trade on.
Oh, they're not done.
Forward, but Tristana hops right back in. Xeno able to avoid the auto attacks from the Gragas, but gets hooked by the death sentence. He's extremely low. Flashes the last little bit of damage, but no! There's still, he didn't even need a flash forward to finish it off. It was the Tristana grenade that takes out the Kaisa. And man, PlzNoCampMe, I had zero doubts. Zero doubts. Obviously, they were going to win this one. I mean, can you even, like...
of course.
Total prediction. I called it from the very beginning. Best
no. I also think he might be a second behind him, but I'm not sure. As an FYI.
Infernal Drake started up. We'll see. PlzNoCampMe should be able to pick it up. Malphite's not too far away. Maybe in time to try to contest it. Looks like, though, it'll just...
Malphite's opted for the pacifist life. Violence is no good. He is going to just farm for the rest of his time until he reaches the ripe old age of 6, where he will begin to relive his violent urges.
Well, it's all about ulting and knocking people up. That doesn't do that much damage, especially if you're playing tank Malphite. All you're looking to do is give everyone a party house. Bounce everyone, you know, bouncy house. It's fun. No damage. Anyway, Lighthouse getting some huge chunk of damage onto Plastic 40s. One more auto attack to finish him off. He ults just to save his own life, so he will be able to get out for now. And if he does have flash available, so could try to flash maybe auto, but decides to play it safe. Instead, just pushes the wave out, catches back up in farm, and Zed lives to fight another day.
Yeah, Malphite's only one camp away. It looks like he's going to take the Krugs upstairs and probably look for a gank on either top or mid eventually at some point. It looks like he's actually opting to maybe go for the Scuttle into a blue invade. We'll have to really see what goes down there. In the other lanes, though, it looks like pretty much everyone's trading pretty evenly as far as CS goes. No massive leads eked out outside of the kills and the dragons that have gone over.
I gotta give credit to Commander C, as being one of the lower level people in the game, is able to not only keep up in farm against the Pantheon, but actually has taken a very small farm lead. So that is big credit to that Scion. Now, keep in mind, Pantheon doesn't have the teleport, so the Scion is gonna have a small advantage being back to lane, making sure he's able to pick those up as Brazilians try to freeze the wave on the bottom side.
Yeah. NoCampMe has some good early pressure, but they have to really keep it going, because as this game goes on, you know, Scion and Malphite are able to just get able to stack armor, because the only AP threat being Gragas doesn't bode too well for the later team fights. But here they go on the Scion on the top side.
Yeah, he does have his level 6 though, so if he can get out of range, he can ult to safety right through the Gragas ultimate. What? No way! The last spear from Sejaces comes slamming into Commander C's back, takes out Scion, even underneath his own turret. What an unbelievably thrown skill at the last second.
Yeah, and NoCampMe is making the plays that have to be made. They have to kick this game in the overgear, start taking some turrets. Malphite looks for a gank mid, misses the ult, but looks like he gets in the queue anyway, which is just enough to take out Zed.
That was a gorgeous flash from the Zed. Unfortunately, a little bit too little, as Reeves is going to have the final blow, but still good timing, especially with Malphite being over the wall. Very hard to predict that.
Yeah, absolutely. NoCampMe really needs to start looking for a play that can help them take a first turret, so they can start breaking open the game and start moving lanes around to plexes of strength, where they can eventually take out all the outer turrets. The faster they end this game, the better, because they are definitely on a timer, even with the Tristana in their pocket.
And for Sejaces, he picks up the kill on the top side, but then goes even in farm against Scion, who now has taken back that farm lead and is forcing Pantheon to stay with no mana underneath his own turret. And Scion didn't even burn his teleport. He actually walked back to lane. So this is some really good play of the top laner for WaffleRockets, and that's what you're talking about. Delay, delay, stall, stall. Not only let your tanks get farmed, but Kai'Sa, one of the best late game AD carries, can absolutely decimate whoever it is that she jumps on and starts to chunk down. I think the only ADC that can contest for late game damage is the Vayne when it comes to super late game.
Of course, you know, despite the fact that, you know, Waffle does scale as well as they do, you have to still look at this Tristana. She's 4-0. She has a 10 CS lead. Even though they have the Malphite Scion, points of power against a nearly all AD team, you know, if Tristana gets going enough, it won't necessarily matter. Sure, they'll have the mid game, but when it hits late game, these tanks will get shredded.
And a great thing for PlzNoCampMe is they can drop that rocket onto a turret. And
Malphite's looking for a gank. He's hopped over the blasting cone.
Broken Heart's coming to the bottom side. Otter getting the slow onto no free names. The Thresh is using the ultimate very early on. The Flay won't land on anybody, but a nice ultimate.
Gragas the counter gank.
Will delay it enough. The flash force out from no free names. Gragas hits the body slam in, but the Kai'Sa's already being eaten off to the side. Malphite goes in, finishes off the Thresh. No free names is down. Kai'Sa uses the killer instinct hop right back into the fight, getting pretty good chunk of damage down, taking out Gragas. Tristana forced to hop away. Lord Reeves coming down to join the fight on the bottom side after it's already over. The party being finished off. Quick, zoom in on the dancing Kai'Sa. Oh, she stopped the recall. Okay.
Yeah, and Malphite saying tanks are for babies, going the full AP route, it looks like, with that runic echoes. That's what I like to see. I'm hoping also for the sorcerer shoes and maybe even the Oblivion orb for the full magic pen. It's because despite the fact that Malphite is ostensibly a tank, when he gets those items, he can basically one-shot the enemy carries of the team at will as soon as his ult's up. So if he's able to get enough gold here, it looks like he might be able to become a one-shot assassin in and of his own right as the game continues.
All we need is the Scion for the tank, which I like. It makes it very simple for Commander C to kind of just keep doing his own thing on that top side, especially against that Pantheon, chunking him
Whoa,
down.
and Pantheon getting engaged on here. It looks like he's going to go down.
Knocked up, so Jason is going to be falling. Commander C picks up his own kill, and I'm ahead again, a couple seconds behind you, as there we go. I'm caught back up. Lighthouse teleporting to the bottom side. No free names being chunked out despite the flay. Not going to be enough, and Anivia picks up her second kill of the game. No deaths so far, and I don't even think she's been egg formed yet.
Yeah, no, and it looks like Waffle is recovering back into this game. They've got their mental back into it. They're like saying, you know what, guys, we had a bad beat earlier, but we're in this in the mid game. We're gonna start taking advantages here. That their time is over, our time is now, as they're scaling up into those big items that will allow them to become nearly invulnerable to the stuff coming out of no camp, please.
So do you remember back at nearly the beginning of the game where I said that the players on WaffleRockets side are just so good, they're probably going to win the game? I just want to remind you of that fact, and that, I analyzed, I looked at the team composition. I'm kidding. I'm just waffling.
No, I mean, all I heard was no camp, please, is what you're favoring. And you were predicting so confidently after they got those 4 kills on Tristana that they had this. So, I mean... if you want to rewrite history, by all means, but the record's there.
It's a stream. Nobody can rewind it, so we're good until I put the video on YouTube, then I get in trouble. Anyway, no free names going into the engage on the Lighthouse, dropping the Ignite extreme.
Malphite with the ult.
Initially not too worried. The nice
great Zed ult, but it's not going to matter, unfortunately. It did matter.
And trying to finish him off. Wait, the Plastic 4 still drops Anivia, perfectly timing that. Otter jumping in as well, getting the last little bit of
Tristana jumping in.
Trying to 1v2. She's only going to egg from the Anivia, even if she does finish her off. Uses the ultimate and last auto attack. Otter now jumping onto Nerzullian, gets the stun. What can the Tristana do to get out? Flashes way to safety for the moment. The Pantheon ult coming in as well, looking for the re-engage. Scion here as well, trying to stop the Pantheon from finishing off Anivia, keep that 0 death score line. Jace is flashing over Anivia's wall, but he's so extremely close, and the tongue lash from the Tom Kench comes through, licks the Pantheon to his own demise, and he's sent back to the base of the Grace.
And you can practically feel Nerzullian alt-tab to Reddit to start complaining about Anivia's passive, because you can tell he really thought he had that kill in the bag. But as it looks like it's going forward, Waffle is just going to take another turret here. They're going to get the mid turret, and this game, after being so strongly in the favor of no camp please in the early, has swung decisively back into Waffle's favor.
And a lot of that comes out of, we were kind of talking about those skirmishes that PlzNoCampMe wants to have. They're fighting in the mid lane, and they're not bringing enough people to the party. They consistently were outnumbered in the mid lane, and even though they brought people, WaffleRockets has the teamfight composition. They want to be fighting with a numbers advantage, and with that, they not only give themselves a 1,000 gold lead and a 4-kill lead, but a little bit extra pressure on the map. Xeno running back to the base. Fresh hook? Yeah, not going to land.
It looks like maybe Xeno might be going down here, even though he dodged the fresh hook.
He flash burn to keep him safe. It was a nice movement by No Free Names to get that flay, pull that Kai'Sa back into the fight.
At this point, I think Pantheon just has to start looking for some roams, maybe pick up a Tiamat or something to help push out the wave faster. I don't know. But he can't let this game state keep going forward. He's not going to be able to match his Scion as the game goes on. There's just simply too much armor and tankiness on him.
Yeah, he's using the Yumu's Ghost Blade to get back underneath the turret and then go right back to farming. But again, Scion is winning the farm.
And they're looking for a dive.
And
Pantheon's going to go down if he's not careful.
Sunfire Cape.
Oh.
Broken Hearts walks in. Wait, they notice each other in the jungle. Wait, Malphite going the AP route, may be able to just finish off Pantheon all by himself. Scion
Malphite's probably going to take him down.
The Q going to slow down to Jace's, and Malphite flashes in for the auto to finish him. Lighthouse seeing Plastic around the corner. Playing safe.
And there's the solo kill on the Malphite. Yeah, at this point, I think all No Camp Please can really do is just look for some picks, get vision control, lay down some pinks. Make them walk into you. Because as if this game keeps going the way it's going...
Esk with the trade onto Zito, drops the ultimate to finish him off. Otter can't get there in time with the consume. Beautiful flash body slam from the Gragas. Just drops the Kai'Sa back into the grave. And besides dropping wards, I think the one other thing that PlzNoCampMe can do is play around with Tristana. Again, 4-0, early Stormrazer's finished. She's going to do some pretty good damage to Sion, but needs to hop away. Needs a support there. If you can group around the Tristana, keep her alive, she'll shred the enemy team eventually.
Yeah, potentially the best plan here for no camp please is just to let Tristana sit in the side lane, do the farm for until 400 CS strat, and eventually it won't matter if the team of Waffles is too tanky. Tristana will just be able to shred them.
Yeah,
Nivea is not going to make that easy. She's been slamming through this mid lane over and over and over again as she continually outroams the Zed.
Plastic in a bad spot, tried ulting into Nivea to get out of the stun, but Nivea wisely placed the ult underneath herself, so Zed was forced to go straight onto the ult. And that's a quick Crystal E for Lighthouse to finish him off. We'll pick up that blue buff. Look at that, 17-minute mark. What did I say? Oh, I said it was 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute mark, so I'm about 7 minutes off. Close enough. Close enough. 2 turrets to 1,000 gold lead for WaffleRockets, which, according to some of these team fights, looks like WaffleRockets is winning most of them, but there's a couple moments like this where Xeno's caught out and goes down against Jace is getting his own kill, and Kaisa really starting to struggle, split push to the side, and Tom Kench actually...
Yeah, I like the change.
But he's going to be caught out as well. Can Thresher clear? It does! No way! He doesn't have flash available. He's going to try to get to the blast cone to get over the wall, but it's going to be a party hop. No, Zed finishes him off before he can even hit the blast cone. And Tom Kent is going to go down as well. So PlzNoCampMe continue to kind of start to get back into this game, even though they're going to lose the top turret. Yeah.
You know, NoCampMe has read the game well. They've switched up their strategy. They've sent Pantheon bot lane looking for that vulnerable Kaisa who, as they've seen, has burned her flash and overextended a number of times here. They've seen her as a potential weak point they can expose, and now it looks like they're going for a dive in the mid lane.
Oh, no free name's going to be chunked out from the turret, but underneath the turret, Sion is doing what he can to stop Pantheon from getting any more damage down. Nice knock up to the last second. So Jason gets the Dark Passage out, and S was able to take it away. He's got so little health, he's been stunned up, he's shut down. The Flavor Thresh not enough to save Lighthouse, making plays, but there's a sliver between the ice wall for Thresh to escape. 2-man stun from Lighthouse, he's going mad. There's Zulia flashes the wall, stays alive with a sliver of health. So Jason flashes over the wall, but that's only the egg form on the Anivia. That's just the Kaisa goes in, using the killer instinct, but can't find the kill. Can the do enough? No! Lighthouse comes back up, Kaisa gets a triple kill, and WaffleRockets is straight back into the game.
And Anivia Egg, once again, showing its value, keeping that Anivia legendary as she goes to an uncontested 7-0 in this game. NoCampMe is looking very good there for a few seconds, but all of a sudden, Waffle gets its act together and punches back. And when they punch back hard. They're looking like they're taking the second mid-turret.
They're extending that gold lead, pushing the 4,000 gold lead mark and a little bit more. They've got a second Windrake on the map if they decide to try to pick that up, which will add to their quick rotations. Again, the thing for PlzNoCampMe, they have an Infernal, which will help scale their damage towards the later side of the game. But as you saw on the top side, when that turret was falling, Tristana had to roll through 2 grenades and full attack speed and only drop the Sion down to half. And he's even tankier than he was before, which is just going to get worse and worse as the game progresses.
Tristana's going to need another 5,000 gold or so before she starts really being relevant in this game. She is not a strong mid-game carry as a rule. She's going to want to just keep farming up and hope that her mid lane, can hold as long as possible before they start breaking down inhibitor turrets. But that's going to be a difficult task because they've placed the Red Herald in the mid and they keep pushing up with this. They have potential to go all the way if they get a solid fight. Oh, but they got to pick on the Sion.
WaffleRockets has the advantage, though. Look at the Tristana pumping in as much damage as she can, and it's hardly tickling the Sion. In the meantime, the Rift Heralds continue to push down the mid lane. Gragas ulting 2 members back, trying to keep them safe. They try to keep the rest of his team safe, the turret safe. The Shelly's already gotten 1 slam onto the inhibitor turret, will fall afterwards, but Thresh dropped by Lighthouse, caught out by those terrifying Anivia walls that she can now use to start to help siege onto the inhibitor turret. You're going to be able to pick this one up. That 3-tank front line, untouched by PlzNoCampMe. Kaisa and Anivia free hitting from the backside. Middle inhibitor will drop, and that is the first inhibitor of the game to the side of WaffleRockets.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like NoCampMe is out of options. If they're not able to generate picks with their Pantheon, they don't really have many ways to do anything once they set up that devastating siege in the mid lane. Anivia has so much zoning power that it makes it incredibly difficult, as Gragas is getting caught out.
He tried to body slam to safety and thresh through down the dark passage, but wasn't near enough, and the late timing on that flay not going to help save him either. So Gragas, the jungler, gone. And good play by WaffleRockets not to immediately run for the Drake, but instead wait for the jungler to come roaming through the jungle. And he saw Sion, but the body slam was just a hair too late. Caught on the edge of the slam. Whoa, Malphite ulting over the wall.
Malphite getting a little overeager is going to go down, giving NoCampMe an entrance into this game. The point-blank Pantheon ult, an interesting choice.
Grabs the dark passage, so maybe making use of it as they're going to try to find the re-engage onto the Tom Kench. Uses the Grey, helping himself alive for the moment.
NoCampMe has decided this is their fight and are going for it.
Picks up one. The Thresh the Zed trying to engage the backside, uses the blast going to safety, but Xeno flashes the wall. Perfect positioning for the Rockets as well. And so Jace is now on the run. So WaffleRockets trades around a fight. Tom Kench ult coming through, bringing with him the Kaisa. Pantheon is able to get one kill before going down himself, and the legendary 9-0 Anivia continues to destroy in every single fight. Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to see what options really are left towards NoCampMe at this point. I think at best maybe they might be having to look for some death brushes. What they absolutely need to do is start getting more vision control in their jungle. It just becomes very difficult. Oh, but Sion almost going down there.
Yeah, Gragas using the ultimate to push Sion underneath the turret, forces his flash out to escape. But that shows you, though, the power of some of these team fights. We've had a long, extended fight, but nowhere in there did Sion burn flash. He's just not put under that much pressure, and so he has it to escape once he's knocked underneath the turret yet again. 23 kills to 14, a 9,000 gold lead for WaffleRockets. They really do seem like they have this game in the bag. It's going to take a miracle for PlzNoCampMe to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is really just a draft coming to bite NoCampMe in the butt. The lack of a serious AP threat outside of the Runic Echo's Gragas is making it insanely difficult. Make it very easy for the Sion to just build full armor. And when the only fed members are assassins and a Tristana who hasn't even hit their true damage Infinity Edge yet, you know, basically Waffle can just walk it down mid, and there's not much they can do about it.
I'll hold off on just a second as Esk is engaged upon on that top side. He saw the Malphite, wanted to fight a little bit, but now he's having to body slam himself only to his own death. Pantheon goes in, forced to flash away, no free names, misses the hook. Nerzulian goes in, Broken Hearts flashing to safety for the moment. The grenade is going to explode, drop him low, but not quite yet unless Jace finds him, uses the... I always forget that. Yumu's Ghost Blade.
Here comes the 4v1 Sion. Can they kill him?
That is the question at the moment, as he has so much armor. Looks like he will eventually be burned down, but
and they can't. Oh, they just barely get him.
Gets him. That's that guaranteed damage by the Tristana. Just able to finish him off. Ghost and Sion going to come in, help clear a couple of minions before going down. Baron is on the table. Zed is still alive, but in the enemy team's jungle, Lord Reeves, with that blue buff, says it's the bottom lane second tier turret that is my target. No free names, barely able to flash alive with a sliver of health. Gets out for a moment, but Tristana forced to back away, and that should be giving over pressure on that second tier turret.
I just went back and watched the clip of the Sion fighting the 4v1, and altogether it took NoCampMe about 15 seconds to actually reduce his health to 0. Which is not necessarily a very promising start, as they look like they're turning their attention towards this Baron.
Now, it was a couple of kills back to NoCampMe, but I think they're still going to lose this Baron. The teleport Sion coming in as well, just to make sure they're able to pick it up. They have all 5 members here if they want to engage. Kaisa looks like she wants to recall, though.
Yeah.
Decides to cancel.
Yeah. Sion's ult wasn't up. I think if it had been, they might have went on that. But it looks like they're going to turn their attentions towards the top side, pick up this turret, and maybe look towards getting another inhib themselves.
So, talking about the composition, I think that would have been much better for PlzNoCampMe if they had had something like a Malzahar in the mid lane. Not only do they have that guaranteed engage, flash ult to CC someone enough for the rest of the team to help clear them out, but that's a burning AP threat that you don't want to be standing next to each other when there's that Malzahar space aids burning through your entire team or he has that E that just silences your entire team.
Yeah, oh, Anivia's getting ulted on.
Malphite turns it around on 2 people underneath the turret, taking it up for the moment. Sion gonna knock out them as well, but again, they're using that 6th man of the turret. They're gonna fight the Tahm Kench as well. Pantheon gonna come in.
Kai'Sa's still not here. They can actually take this.
Nerzulian turns onto the Malphite. He's extremely low because he is AP Malphite. Commander C forced to back away. Kai'Sa has joined the fight for the moment as she does have that killer instinct. Ooh, doesn't even need to use it. It's just the Void Seeker. Finds the Tristana, able to snipe her down. Still has the Baron empowerment as well. I feel like Xeno will want to go in on this.
It's a 4v2, but it looks like NoCampMe is just going to give them the inhib.
When you have a 9-4 Kai'Sa, who's going to be jumped on though by the Pantheon. It's a 2-man stun. Gragas forced to use the Zhonya's trying to keep himself alive, but he still goes down. Zito's got the double buffs and the Baron buff. It's a triple buffed Kai'Sa. She isn't even worried about the Zed coming in. Just rockets him to death, picks up a triple kill and the clean ace for the side of WaffleRockets.
And some BM question mark pings from the Team Waffle over here. Looks like they're pretty confident they have this game in the bag after that fight. We'll have to see what they look to next. I think it's likely they're going to go for this bottom turret, as it is the last outer. But honestly speaking, Anivia is still unkilled. At this point, NoCampMe just really has to look towards seeing if they can hold off for Tristana to get 1 to 2 more items, and maybe they can actually make some plays to get themselves back in this game.
Well, this is where WaffleButts has played to their composition. They've got their 2 carries, 11-0, 12-4. They are carrying. And then you have your 3 tanks that are just those big, meaty bodies. Sure, Malphite is going AP, so he's got plenty of AP damage, but he is still a tank at heart. He still has those base tank stats that keep him alive or surviving long enough that he's a distraction, allowing the Kai'Sa and Anivia to do work on that back line.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 28-minute sorcery shoes on the Malphite. Long awaited, but here they are, as he's looking to finally get that extra 30 or so movement speed to help create those picks on Team NoCampMe.
Sorry, I'm geeking out right now because Darth is back. He's been gone for an age and a half. Welcome back, Darth Vin. How have you been? I'm not sure where you've been or why, but that is still okay. Glad to have you whenever you can return to hang out on the stream. You don't even have to play, mate. Just come say hi every now and then. That's fine. It's like when your child disappears and then they come home and you're just like, oh, work. Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah, Team Waffle does have to be a bit careful here. Yes, they are in a commanding 9k 2 dragon lead, but if Tristana, if the game goes long enough, it's still very possible for NoCampMe to bring this back. Tristana gets a couple more items, and those previously invincible tanks aren't necessarily so invincible anymore.
And again, when you have that carry composition, if Kai'Sa and Anivia go down, you're left with no damaged tanks. All they're going to be doing is just absorbing all of the damage. But Sion comes in.
Ooh, but that's a great start, and that's it.
Malphite ult knocking up 2 members as well. Zed ulting to save his life, flashing away from the moment the Tahm Kench. The lick is going to slow him down. He's not going to be able to escape. He's eating for the end of it. Kai'Sa gets it inside the belly of the beast, and the bottom lane inhibitor goes down. See, WaffleRockets finds that rocket engage with the Sion to the back line. Perfect positioning. Gragas trying to play around the mid, or the... Wow, alright.
Yeah.
Trying to die.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Malphite got the ult he was looking for all game long, and that's going to wrap it up, folks. Team Waffle taking it here in the 3rd game of the night.
That is a beautiful and confident finish to the game. As you were saying, maybe if the stall had lasted a little bit longer and the carries of the Anivia or the Kai'Sa were dropped, it would be a different story. As it is, though, Anivia, 11-0-11, 0 deaths. 0 on the Kai'Sa, 14-4-11. Crazy lineups.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give it to Anivia. She performed a little bit too well, as I'm upside down now. But really, this was just a game that honestly felt almost impossible to win if they did not get like a 5k lead by 15 minutes. It's incredibly difficult when you have this double assassin kind of comp into the stuff that Waffle ended up picking. I will say it was a noble performance by Team NoCampMe. They had some good moments despite the disadvantage they had created for themselves in the draft. But in the end, the Team Waffle's margin for error was just that much greater. And in some cases, their players just outplayed them in certain scenarios that led them to the victory that they so rightfully deserved.
Wait, did I still? I do. If you give me just a second. While you're upside down right now on the stream. If you aren't.
Yeah, I know. I think I mentioned that actually.
Because we were having some fun. Wraith is absolutely ADC biased, and so anytime that he gives MVPs or honorable mentions to ADCs, we call him crazy biased, just for fun. But we couldn't table flip. We do have a little table flip command in the stream chat, but somebody said Wraith flip. Maybe it was me that said Wraith flip. But either way, I decided to flip Wraith upside down, and now Cold Art is flipped upside down. So I am fixing Cold Art right now. While I do this, Cold Art, why don't you run through the losing team honorable mention MVPs?
Okay, losing team. I really, I think the draft was really screwing them here, but I still like the Tristana popping off in the early game at the very least. She went 4-0 early. Unfortunately, couldn't end up doing much with it, but and at the end of the day, she was their team's probably win condition after the mid game. And had things gone a little differently, I think it was very likely that she could have been able to carry. And as far as the honorable mention, honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to Gragas. He was making the plays early. He was out yanking the Malphite. Granted, Malphite has less pressure, but he was still making plays in the early game that almost allowed the snowball that could have happened for NoCampMe to turn into a game win.
All right, and for the winning side, I'm giving honorable mention and MVP over to Broken Hearts because AP Malphite. All right, moving on. No, I'm kidding. I think I'm going to start with the MVP, Reeves, and yes, you can call me Reeves biased, but 0 deaths, 11-0-11, heavy pressure in the mid lane, and just good overall team cohesiveness. You can tell that somebody was running the show, and I could honestly say that it's probably Reeves that was kind of leading his team, not only for that initial gank in the jungle, but also through the rest of the game. But more than that, I got to give honorable mention to Commander C.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
not only defending the top lane, but he actually holds the Pantheon from ever ganking anywhere else. Kept Pantheon pressured in that top side, abused the fact that Pantheon didn't have teleport by walking to lane multiple times just to keep Pantheon from getting any farm. And you can see that even at the end of the game, when Sion was doing nothing but tanking, he still only ended up with a 10 farm deficit against the Pantheon who had lanes pushing into him. That shouldn't happen, especially with a Pantheon that should be able to just wave clear easily over and over and over. So huge credit and honorable mention to Commander C for not only holding his own lane extremely well, but keeping Pantheon from having any impact on the game anywhere else. So
yeah, and when you're talking about Commander C, you have to give him some respect too for how much pressure he was absorbing. Gragas was up there several times, and many of the ganks were actually unsuccessful, thanks in part to the way he played it. A number of them he might have even gotten away from had it not been for just a little bit more tankiness, a little less damage taken, and it might have been that Pantheon got no kills at all in this game. I will also say that he had the right champion for the situation. He played it well. He walked in front of the damage, and that's what his team needed him to do.
All right. Well, guys, the question is, do we have 10 players for game 4? That's the question. You'll be able to for loans? Brittany, that is amazing. Amazing. Please let us know if you're able to do that because we want to celebrate with you with that. I'm down for last game, but we don't have 10 people signed up right now. We're sitting at 7. We're sitting up at 7. Okay, looks like we gotta have people join in. All right, so we're gonna go for a quick break as I set up game number 4. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere because it's gonna be a pretty short one as I'm just gonna run through the top to bottom picks for game number 4. We'll be right back.